Kia ora koutou. Ngau mā hara mai ki konei ki te wahi tapu o Mahoetahi. Kia ora everybody, just want to welcome you here to Mahoetahi. One of the past sites of Te Atiawa Pokitapu, an event that took place on the 6th of November 1860. But to give some history and context about this place here, Mahoetahi is within the cultural landscape of Pokitapu. It is surrounded by pā and kāinga of our people who have lived here for over 800 years. To the end of the runway, we have our ancient pā site of Pokitapu. At the other end, we have the next pā of Riwatapu. We'll work our way round to the mouth of our river Waiongana. We have Rarotonga across to Pukekohatu and to the ancient pā site of Ngāpuke Tūroa of Honolulu. These are all the pā and kāinga that our people used to live at. This place was known as a whare of different learning houses that were built on this whenua. We have at least 12 whare that are in the space of the airport that's just over to our left. Mahoetahi is between our awa of Waiongana and Mangaoraka. Our pā today is Mururoipatu. The events that took place here affected our people of Pokitapu back in the 50s, right after the musket wars of the 1820s and 1830s. During the 1850s, we had the Pokitapu feud, and at that time, Pokitapu aligned themselves with the Land League at Manuapau. And the first thing we did was build or put in place the Pou Whenua, the Pou Tūtaki, which in front of Harvey Norman building on Smart Road. A marker that says that no land is to be sold to European past this point of the awa Waiwakaio. After that, the next boundary marker was at the Waitaha, in which Pokitapu put up a toll bridge to control the flow of people to and fro on this road. And after that toll bridge, and after the events of the feud, the next point that took place was actual conflict at the Kohia on the 16th of March 1860, in which war was declared upon our people. The road behind us is the military road, the old Devon line, which was connected the camps in New Plymouth to the military camps in Waitara. After Te Kohia, we had the battle at Wairaka in March 1860. Then another battle in June 1860 at Puketekauere. At the Battle of Puketekauere, not only did Te Atiawa fight, but also other iwi came and fought here in Taranaki. Those from Tainui had come through with the blessing of the first Māori king, Te Wherowhero. After that victory, the spoils of war were taken back to Tainui. And one of the chiefs there, who's responsible for this battle site here, Wetini Taiporotu, was eager to participate in fighting the imperial forces here in Taranaki. His kōrero went to the second Māori king, to allow Ngāti Haua to come and support their relations in Taranaki to fight against the land grabbers from New Plymouth. Tawhiao gave his blessing for more of Tainui to come through under the direction of Mahoetahi, but also that of Riwi Maniapoto. So after the planting season was done, the people of Tainui made their way to support their relations here in Taranaki. At that time, because of the losses, the forces, the imperial forces found they had it Puketakawere under the command of Major General Gold, Paris and McLean changed the commander of their army to a seasoned soldier or commander called Pratt. Major General Pratt came across after campaigns around the world to take control of the events happening here in Taranaki. But things were afoot of changing the landscape and changing the tide of battle that was happening here. So Tainui, as they made their way down under the direction of Riwi Maniapoto, got to Mokau, and their forces split in two. Mahoetahi and Ngāti Haua made their way to this spot at Mahoetahi. The rest of Maniapoto, Tainui, Waikato made their way 5 kilometres away to Kaido. At Kaido were the remaining forces of Te Atiawa, working on a plan to attack the town of New Plymouth. So Riwi was concerned, and so was the chief Aparuna, the chief of Te Atiawa. We see messages from Kaido to Mahoetahi, to this spot, to ask Mahoetahi and his people to come back and not pursue an open battle with the colonial forces. There were a number of runners that were sent to this spot from Kaido, but Mahoetahi had already sent his message to Paris, to New Plymouth, to challenge him to combat on this spot by asking him to not be like a fish, but be like a man and fight on this land. So Paris sent his message to his new commander, Major General Pratt. This message was delivered on the 4th of November 1860, in which he sent a message to Waitara, to the military camp there under the command of Colonel Mould and Captain Nelson, to act swiftly and to come to this battle here at Mahoetahi. The Mahoetahi of Ngāti Haua, with his combined forces of Maniapoto, Ngāti Raukawa, Ngāti Ruru from Wanganui, and many other hapu, numbered 120 men, were camped on this parside. Major General Pratt, Colonel Mould and Captain Nelson had left New Plymouth and Waitara with 3 cannons. and 800 trained soldiers to come to the site at Mahoetahi. Wetini has split his forces into two in anticipation of the battle that was about to take place in the early morning of the 6th of November 1860. He had a force that had dug into this side here and dug rifle pits and the old whare pits that are here to take this as a point to challenge the forces coming from the south. He split his other force and put them into the swamp to be able to fight against those that were coming from Mahoetahi. So we had two vantage points in place to start his battle. So early that morning, both sides were ready for battle. The corner behind is where the cannons were placed, just on the other side of the road. That was the regiment of the 65th. Across the other side, just in front of Pukakohatupa, by the water tower at Mahoetahi Road, where Mahoetahi set up their cannon. And cannon fire was the first thing heard on this site. But they were found to be ineffective. The shells would just slide off the top of the site and do no damage. In fact, the shelling was so ineffective that it caught the colonial forces in their own crossfire. So they found that the only way to attack this pa was to no longer use their cannons that were placed on either side, but to have a full frontal charge up the slope of this pa into the guns of those of Ngāti Haua. Also with the colonial forces was a man called Atkinson, and he was the commander of the Bush Rangers, which was a militia that went round all our pa sites in Kainga and burnt our people out of their lands. And he wanted to be at this fight. So those Bush Rangers came in with the colonial forces and advanced up this slope. Their forces were 4-1. Ngāti Haua continued to fight until the ammunition had finished. The slope, the hill was taken by those forces, and those of Ngāti Haua, Tainui Waikato, went down the other slope and joined up with their men who have been fighting in the swamplands to the north. Ngāti Haua and Tainui fought till all the ammunition was used. Dropped their rifles, pulled out their mere and their tomahawk and fought hand to hand with odds of 4-1 in the wetlands of this field. They were courageous men that never gave up. Their courage was recounted and recorded by those that fought against them. Because of the ferocity and determination that those men will stand shoulder to shoulder with their relations to continue this fight all across this land to the north, all the way towards the awa of Waiongana. The battle here lasted 2 hours. 2 hours of hand-to-hand battle. The chief Mahoetahi fell just before the awa of Waiongana. Those that survived this battle made their way back to their allies at Kairopā, 5 kilometres away, to recount what happened here. This was the first battle in Taranaki that the colonial forces were victorious. So the bodies of our men, of Ngāti Haua, of Maniapoto, Raukawa, Ngāti Ruru, were all brought up from out of the lands here on top of this hill. On the western slope of this hill is where they're buried. We have the names of those men. There's about 32 men buried on this slope on an unmarked grave. Their chief, Mahoetahi, Taiporotu, and Paura, and 2 other rangatira were taken from this battlefield and taken into New Plymouth to be buried in the far corner of St Mary's Church. Before the salutations and blessings given by the Anglicans to those rangatira, but never been put to rest beside their comrades here on this site at Mahoetahi. But that wasn't the end of this battle. As those that fought here returned home and retold the story of Mahoetahi, they knew they had to return again. And the price they took was on the 23rd of January 1861. 3 months later, after this battle, they returned and fought at Redoubt 3 on the advancement of Pratt's Saps towards Pukerangiora. They returned in force and fought and died in that battle. We always remember the kinship and relationship between our people here of Te Atiawa and our relations from Kawhia Moana, from Tainui. The whakapapa that joins us together is embedded in this whenua. We are pleased to come back and stand upon here. Although the whenua belongs to the Crown, we wish to relight our fires back on this spot in commemoration of those that fell in that battle here on the 6th of November 1860. Pēnā koutou katoa.